What's up, guys? So, as the title of this video states, I've been on Reddit like full on, full like I'm on Reddit probably way too much lately with the Last Jedi, and I was talking about Snoke, particularly what this topic is about Snoke and Darth Jar Jar and the who's the mastermind behind it all, and if does Darth Jar Jar theory still hold weight. And if you don't know what the Darth Jar Jar theory is, and I don't know how you really can if you're a Star Wars fan, much less a Redditor, because the um, the initial Reddit post about Darth Jar Jar is literally one of the most upvoted and viewed Reddit thread of all time. It's one of the most. It's like probably top 5 or 10. It was at one time the most viewed Reddit thread. And basically, the theory and interpretation states that Jar Jar, Jar Jar Binks is actually a Sith Master, and he was the true Phantom Menace and the true intended big bad puppet master behind the whole thing. Not Sidious, Palpatine, but actually Darth Jar Jar. And there's other kind of segments and offshoots of this Darth Jar Jar theory that states, Darth Jar Jar is actually Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis was, of course, Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious's Sith Master. And so, yeah, that's one of the theories about it. That's what Darth Jar Jar is, stating that Darth Jar Jar, the true Sith Master, the true puppet master, that's what Lucas intended.
Extra life acquired.
That's what Lucas intended for the character Jar Jar Binks, and that's why Jar Jar Binks was so prevalent in the Phantom Menace, and why Lucas, the behind-the-scenes segment, Lucas says Jar Jar is the key to all of this, and it's a theory that has multiple videos, multiple even semi-essay, like the original poster. I mean, it's certainly a report, if not a near essay, of why he is Darth Jar Jar, why Binks is a Sith Lord. And so that's the Darth Jar Jar theory. It's important to know that. And just type in Darth Jar Jar, YouTube, Google, Reddit, and you'll get the whole thing. And so the topic of this video is, does the Darth Jar Jar theory hold up still with an interpretation of it, with using Darth Jar Jar theory as sort of a template to interpret The Last Jedi and the events of The Last Jedi, particularly how the film feels, because I'm going to go into the overall oddity of this film, The Last Jedi, and whether people agree that it's a good film or not. We're not going to talk about that because I have clearly laid out in my review and then the Kylo Ren video that the film's not good. But whether people have interpreted it or believe that it's a good film or not, everyone kind of agrees the film fell off at a lot of points. It feels kind of weird. It doesn't really feel like a Star Wars film. It feels very odd. And that's another part of this segment of this little discussion we're having. So I was on Reddit, and I was on the Darth Jar Jar subreddit because I love that subreddit. It's kind of a dead subreddit, if I'm honest. There's not a lot of newness going on. Even with the new film, it's a bit dead. But it's brilliant, and you can tell that the people that there might be
Maximum
some
multiplier.
That's so loud. I'm sorry. There might be some trollolo on the subreddit, but most people on the Darth Jar Jar subreddit are, I can tell, pretty hardcore Star Wars fans, and they're kind of lore masters, kind of like myself, even though I wouldn't consider myself a lore master. Pretty good though, but I would consider myself kind of, in terms of the casual audience that may think these films are good, most certainly. But I'm going to pause, well, just to keep the video going right here, because I got to because I'm going to read the whole conversation me and this person who brought this to my attention, and I don't want to take credit for this, because this is not my interpretation or synopsis or whatever of the film. My interpretation synopsis of the film still stands with my review. I still think this film's garbage. But this was interesting, and it got me to think, and if I ever watch The Last Jedi again, which I don't know if I will actually have an opportunity to see it. Actually, I have an opportunity on Sunday. This video will go up very early Sunday morning, probably. But I'll have an opportunity to see it Sunday. I don't know if I will. But if I do, I will view it with this type of platform, whatever you want to call it, interpretation, I don't know. This ideal, this theory, I'll interpret it with this. So here's a conversation. And this is the Reddit user. I want to get his name right. I want to give him credit because I hate it when people take credit that's not their own from people and they put it in videos and they try to act like it's theirs. This is not mine. This was written to me, and I think it's really important that this person gets credit. Even though only a couple dozen people watch my videos, but this is I like to stay not scumbag like that. I don't like to be a scumbag that pretends that, oh, I'm so smart and stuff, and this is all me. This is my interpretation. This guy is called, his Reddit username is Reptoid Ryu. I love that username too, Reptoid. I call roboids, Sammy Hayden. Oh, good old Sammy. He's a roboid in this fucking game, Doom here. But this is the interpretation, and I can't play and read the whole thing. So we're gonna stop the gameplay, but keep recording, of course. So this is Reptoid Ryu's interpretation. And what he told me. This is Reddit. Quote, Reptoid Ryu. The ancient fear certainly isn't Kylo. Ren, that's for sure. Notice in Snoke's throne room the giant red curtain. Snoke, or rather Jar Jar, did nothing but put a puppet master show for Ben and Rey. But little to both of them realize they aren't the audience, but are themselves puppets. So basically, that opening paragraph sentence says, the throne room was designed, and it really is, if you go back and you watch The Last Jedi and you see the throne room was designed in a manner, we'll move around while we do this, in a manner that there is kind of a red curtain, and it actually gets on fire. It lights on fire a little bit in the battle between the Praetorian Guard and Kylo and Rey, excuse me. And so he thinks that it's a symbolic messagery that there's something behind the curtain, that Snoke really didn't, quote, really die. So he's going to continue here. What Kylo killed was not the real Gungan Snoke, but rather a literal puppet, the corpse of the Prime Jedi, being moved by Darth Jar Jar himself via the Force. We saw both Luke and Snoke use the Force on people in locations light years away. True. Luke with his projection, and Snoke when he threw Hux around like a rag doll when he was talking to his hologram. Again, true. It's in the movie, confirmed. The Last Jedi guidebook says Snoke obscures himself even from those who meet him. Yet in this scene, he certainly was not obscured. Now was he? Kylo didn't kill Snoke. He destroyed the corpse of the Prime Jedi. I guess, I couldn't get a hold of Ryu because I wrote to him. I go, hey, I'm going to make a YouTube video, and can I use your stuff? And I assume he doesn't care. He's probably like, yeah, whatever. So I Googled Prime Jedi, and what I got was another theory that Snoke was actually the first Jedi. That's why he's so old. He was actually the very first Jedi Knight, Master Knight, whatever. That was the theory. So I guess he's called the Jedi Prime, Prime being the one. So, the numeral 1, the first. So that's what he means by Prime Jedi, I guess. I infer. Okay. Where were I? Snoke, who may very well be on Catino Blight still, or somewhere else entirely, while the secrecy. Snoke, the actual real Snoke, is Jar Jar. Jar Jar wants Snoke and Rey to be divided to keep the Star Wars going. We were introduced to the War Profiteers for a reason. And I didn't bring this up in my review, but there is a scene that very directly and very purposely wants to point out that both the Rebels and the Empire guys sell weapons to both sides. you know, they're warlords, war profiteering, which I forgot to include in my review, and he's completely right again here. Okay, and he says, where do you think Snoke, quote Snoke Jar Jar, gets his wealth from? Snoke, or rather Jar Jar, can only be defeated when Rey and Kylo, light and dark, unite in balancing the Force. That is, the Force has been being thrown out of balance the whole time by the true Phantom Menace, uh, Jar Jar, I guess. For if Kylo and his Neo Sith, by another name, and Rey and her Neo Jedi continue to clash, all that will happen is a repeat of the Old Republic, the Scourge of Malachor, but this time on a much more massive scale. Now, what you need to infer on that last sentence is the Scourge of Malachor. Now, it's been really introduced into new canon via the Rebels TV show, but initially the Scourge of Malachor was where all the Sith and Jedi came in the Old Republic, and this is Korea, and this goes back to the Sith Lords, KOTOR 2, and Revan, but on the planet Malachor, that's where the Sith and Jedi had their final battle, and there was so much Force energy and so much dark and light just being fighting and just mega Force ruptures in the Force continuum that Malachor actually imploded on itself, and it killed all the Sith and Jedi and all their spirits on Malachor still there. You can look this all up. Malachor, Knights of the Old Republic, Kreia, the Exile, Revan. It's all, and then they re-canonized it in a really dumb way though. Disney tried to, bank in on the amazingness of Knights of the Old Republic. But he's saying that basically, if the new Sith, Kylo's new Sith, and Rey's new Jedi fight, it's just going to be the same shit over and over again, because, the Force is totally out of balance when these two entities, light and dark, keep going. So they have to join up and defeat this Gungan overlord, Jar Jar. Okay. Final paragraph. Plagueis is wise. We know this. He even mocks Rey and Kylo's lack of wisdom. The Gungan, the Plague, the Phantom Menace is still out there. After all, if Snoke was truly dead, then why are Rey and Kylo still linked? If he was truly dead, would the link not be severed? And then he, in all caps, there's always a bigger fish, which is a quote from Qui-Gon in Phantom Menace. Okay, so the last part is, it is revealed in The Last Jedi that the link between Rey and Kylo is actually portrayed by Snoke. Snoke's actually doing it, and they have he's got it. That's all Ryu, by the way. That's the end of the response. That's Reptoid Ryu, Reddit user Reptoid Ryu, with a brilliant synopsis and interpretation of The Last Jedi. Not my interpretation, so I want to give him credit. So with that, Snoke in the film says, "Yeah, I knew everything, and I made the Force link between you and Kylo." Basically, that's what he says. That's not verbatim, but that's basically what he says. And yeah, if Snoke really is killed, like we're led to believe, shouldn't the Force link be destroyed? All right, so let's get back to this, and I'm gonna have my opinion piece now that I read that to you guys about this. Well, as you can probably tell, I think it's pretty much brilliant. That's a brilliant. If that were to be true, I mean, we're talking brilliancy on Rian Johnson's part and Disney's part that really in modern mainstream entertainment has never been really replicated. If Reptoid Ryu interpretation is the legit interpretation of The Last Jedi and the saga overall, that'd be amazing. I don't think so. I think the Darth Jar Jar interpretation was initially Lucas's plan when the Phantom Menace came out, and what he wanted to happen with Jar Jar's journey, and the big reveal, the big shocker in his prequel trilogy. But because the Phantom Menace got a lot of backlash from fans and the nerds, the salty OT scumbag. I've already been over these people, right? This is why Disney has a series now. Lucas, I totally believe, completely rewrote Attack of the Clones and thus altered his trilogy in a fundamental way. Now, I'll say this again: Revenge of the Sith is still incredible, but he had a vision with Jar Jar that was obviously not realized. I really believe that. However, I don't believe Disney, Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, Mr. Mouse, the evil empire would ever, ever in a million years do what Lucas wanted to initially do. So, because they hate George Lucas, they hate Star Wars. Ooh, bask in the devil's greatness, pentagrams. Anyway, yeah, I don't believe it. So, we're kind of left with this hole, this huge plot holes. And even though I think Reptoid Ryu's synopsis is brilliant, if you look at it from that perspective, the Darth Jar Jar perspective, I don't believe this is the intention. Now, I know people will say, well, don't say that because they could shock you with Episode 9. Nope, I highly doubt it. Star Wars is dead. I said this in my review, but I'll say it again so everyone can really grasp it. Star Wars, as George Lucas said, was never about cool spaceships and all the explosions and it was about space opera, a hero's journey, and mythology, telling an old myth in a new way. And The Power of the Myth by Joseph Campbell was really, really influenced Lucas. Clearly, it hasn't really influenced Kathleen Kennedy or Rian Johnson or JJ, but it influenced Lucas, and that's why his trilogy is the way it is. But saying that doesn't make this theory bad. I think this is a great interpretation and synopsis by Reptoid Ryu. I think this is incredible. And if I ever watch the film again, and let's be honest, I probably will, because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, guys. I mean, like I said to you, just on the original trilogy, I have spent hundreds of dollars buying, okay, so the VHS, Fox, CBS VHSs, the special edition VHSs, then the DVDs. Both I bought the full screen and then widescreen. Then I bought Blu-ray. Then I bought the steelbooks, and I'll buy them on 4K. So hundreds of dollars just in the original trilogy. So I'll probably see what I'm saying is I probably will see The Last Jedi again. I'll probably concave and pick it up when it's $2 on Blu-ray. And if I ever watch it again, because I mean I'm a completionist bit of a collection snob with Star Wars, I will watch it with Reptoid Ryu's interpretation and synopsis of the film. So that's what I wanted to make this video about, is that Darth Jar Jar, honestly, that theory still holds weight. It still holds weight because everything Ryu said in the response, the curtain, the puppet mastering, how Snoke kind of falls. The more I think about it, how he falls when the lightsaber flies at the audience member, and then Rey catches it, and then you see Snoke's body kind of tumble over. It almost falls like a puppet. It really does. If you watch it again, it almost looks like Snoke's fucking body falls like a puppet. And that was maybe on purpose. And I've said this about Rian Johnson in the past, is that, I don't know if I said it in my review, I can't put the guy that made, I think I did, I can't put the guy that wrote, directed, and made Brick. Now, Brick was an adapted screenplay, if I remember correctly. I think it was a novella or a novel before it became a screenplay. But he wrote and directed it, or he adapted, whatever. But the guy who made Looper and Brick, I cannot put that same guy that made those movies with this Last Jedi travesty total shit show. So maybe there is some weight to this, and maybe that leaves JJ an out, going with the puppet master, ultimate Sith master, ultimate Phantom Menace, Jar Jar, as the main bad. Maybe that leaves JJ out, so to speak. So it's a very compelling theory, compelling synopsis by Reptoid Ryu. Again, I want to make sure I give him credit because it's not I didn't come up with this. I mean, I was just, you know, making fun of the film, and you know, I really like the Darth Jar Jar subreddit, and I was like, Snoke was killed off because to make room for our master, Darth Jar Jar. And then he comes along and he gives me this brilliant response. I just had to make a video about it, so that's what this is. And yeah, so you know, it's certainly interesting, and it would explain a lot of the just weirdness of this movie. This movie is so weird, and other people have talked about just how weird and off it feels. And I might have to make another video about interpreting The Last Jedi, because there's another theory, and I like to call this the dream theory. I might make a video about that. That kind of, it's kind of interesting in its own little way too. Not as interesting as the Darth Jar Jar, but interesting nonetheless. So that's look at this. Huh? Look at all these. Look at all these demons. Oh, pure evil. Oh God. I really do like this score attack. Segment in Doom, and they added this, and this is real fun. I really like this. It's really cool. I really like Doom. I really like this game.
Maximum multiplier.
Maximum multiplier. Maximum trolling, and that's basically what Jar Jar is doing to everyone in the Star Wars universe. He's trolling everyone. It's great for his own means. He's an epic trollololo. Wouldn't that be amazing if this? What if this comes true? Wouldn't that be so cool? How validated would George Lucas feel, and how just awesome would this series become if it were like, yeah, there's a big bad behind everything, guys, and it was intended. It was intended from the very beginning. I mean, back in 1996 when Lucas wrote the script for The Phantom Menace, this shit was intended. This was an intended. This is how it was supposed to be. Wouldn't it be awesome? It'd be fucking sweet. I think it'd be great. Of course, the casual soccer mom,
Maximum multiplier.
Soccer mom, popcorn munching masses that think this movie is good just on its own right as a film, as a Star Wars entry without the Darth Jar Jar interpretation. These people would be like, huh? Eh? That's not cool. We want more explosions and more social justice warrior agendas and more starships and stuff. That's what Star Wars means to us. But yeah, wouldn't that be cool though if Darth Jar Jar were true? I mean, it's not. That's my opinion. It's not. Disney would never do anything like that. These new Disney films are not films. They're products to sell you merchandise and stuff. They're not. They have no artistic value at all. They don't even have value as canon, and they're so stupid. They shit on Luke Skywalker as a character. They shit on Leia. They shit on the Force. I mean, there's no value to these films. So I don't think Darth Jar Jar will ever come to fruition. But it's a fun theory. And Reptoid Ryu, thank you. If you watch this, which I hope you do, I'll try to share it for you. I'll try to link the video for you. Thanks for that response. It really kind of got my my little Jar Jar heart spinning. Misa like your synopsis of Last Jedi, Ryu, even though Misa think it's complete trash. It's kind of a Yoda voice. It's not really a Jar Jar Binks. Because, I mean, you know, that Yoda scene's still sticking with me, how bad that was. Oh my god, that Yoda scene is so trash.
Maximum multiplier. Maximum multiplier.
Ooh.
Maximum multiplier.
So yeah, it's that Yoda scene's still fucking with me. God, they ruined Yoda. What the hell? Yoda all of a sudden hates books and hates knowledge. I guess that kind of makes the Amazing Empire Strikes Back kind of pointless too, right? A Jedi's strength flows from within, and a Jedi never uses the Force for attack, only for knowledge and defense. But I guess not, according to this Yoda. He burns books and shits on the Jedi and makes fun of Luke. I mean, you know, yeah, dude, this film is so bad. The Last Jedi is such a shit show. It is so bad. I hate it, and I hate people that like it. There's some people that are on there's people that like this film. I have no doubt. They're not real Star Wars fans or no true cinema, but they like this film. I don't like those people. I'm just drawing the line right now. You like this film? I'm not I would never be your friend. I'm just because I couldn't talk to you about anything. What are we gonna talk to you about? You're probably one of those people that think LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan too. I bet. If you even like basketball. Anyway, oh God, we're not talking about basketball because I love basketball and I like LeBron. I like LeBron. He's having an amazing season. Jesus, he is the MVP. It's not even fucking close. God, he is talk about carrying a team. Fuck me. He's so good. God, and he's old too. I mean, he's not old. He's what, 32, 33? I want to say he's 4 or 5 years older than me. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's just 2 or 3 years. I don't know. Older than me. But God, he's playing so good. This has gone completely off topic. This rant. We completely need to wheel this in and end the video. So, guys. Did you hear those demons? This is the Fly 212 signing off. Thank you to Reptoid Ryu, right? Or is it Ryu the Reptoid? No, it's Reptoid Ryu, Reddit user Reptoid Ryu. Jesus, try saying that. Reddit user Reptoid Ryu. Try saying that 10 times fast. Okay, anyway, this is the Fly 212. Take it easy, guys. I hope you enjoy these videos, and we'll chat later. All right, have a good one. Peace.